Alright, welcome. I'm really enjoying the Far Cry 5 soundtrack. It's great. Okay, so choppy day. Alright, alt's doing very well, BTC choppy. Be careful on BTC. Don't try and scalp this too aggressively. It's going to leave a lot of kind of headaches for you. I tweeted about this morning, but this is just like classic, like inexperienced scalper wrecking ball time here in this price action specifically. Even this price action, right? Because we want to get long above here, then we get stopped out here. We want to get long down here, and we get stopped out here. We want to get long on the breakout, and we get stopped out here. And we want to get long on this breakout and get stopped here. So it's just classic wrecking ball stuff. Like, it's just very, very difficult to trade BTC unless, you know, systematically you have something that is very good for you. Okay. Rest of the market, really good. Rest of the market, really, really good. We have to be cautious though, because we know a lot of like extension on DeFi, for example. We know a lot of this stuff is now extending into, you know, very interesting areas like Aave. Like Aave is finally back above this major level here at 320. SNX, you know, blew past all my expectations in actually getting back to my entry. My original top buy. Made it all the way back there. So very, very strong. BAL trying to get there, would like this to pop up more, because again, I'd probably take a similar position to SNX with this in terms of exiting the position, just as close to break even as possible. So just be very careful. Now, the positions that I am in, we'll focus on those to begin with. So first one is ETH. Right, ETH's still ticking along absolutely fine. We got that really, really nice exit, right? Absolutely ping the top on the exit side. So that's, you know, fantastic. Very, very pleased with the way that that's worked out. Retests have been good, right? My stop loss now has just been moved up to here, because originally we were down here at the 2100s because we were utilizing this wick here. Okay, this wick from 4 AM on the 3rd of July. We were utilizing this wick. And now it's been moved up to here because, again, there's no reason why, if ETH is bullish, why we should ever see it coming back below this 2158 level. And, you know, now we're in a good position. We've only got 50% of the position left, and I've chosen not to add yet because this price action has been relatively awkward. And so I haven't done anything yet. Now, if we start breaking the highs, I may add in the remaining 50% and then try and take the trade through to conclusion, which is actually a little bit higher. The trade's up here. But right now, just watching and waiting. RSI looks really good. The 1 hour is bouncing here, and the 4 hour is bouncing here. So both bouncing off the 50 level, which is a pretty good situation to be in. And so I would like to see impulse higher, and I think if we do get that, we'll get an aggressive move to the upside. Same with BTC. You know, I would still love to see BTC head towards that 37,500 area. That's really the key area for me that I think BTC still needs to run into. And I think we will get momentum. We will get something that, you know, shakes up the market in terms of a big move for BTC. Whether that's up or down, we're yet to see. And you don't need to gamble on which direction that will be, unless, again, you have some concrete signals that enable you to have clearer validations around why you'd want to take that position. But really, the alts are the play at the moment, because they are still, and this is a really good point, right? We've had a lot of discussion in the group recently about, you know, what do you do? Do you take into account the BTC chart or the alt chart? And I think the last couple of days have been a great example of why I only look at the alt charts, because you would have done analysis on BTC, whether or not you think it's going up or down. And we've basically just gone sideways and fucked around while alts have popped off everywhere. So I think, you know, again, the last 48 hours, an important reminder of why we should just kind of play the chart that we're looking at trading and not worry too much about what BTC, etc. are doing. So ETH, good shape. Still happy with this position and happy with the way things are. Happy to move the stop now, and the grind continues. FTT. So we've got a nice region now on FTT. So this is the trade taken yesterday, and basically what I'm looking at doing here is the entry was here, and the stop was under here, because basically we just wanted to get impulse from this region. And then the first take profit was 26.60, which is here. Okay, so we managed to tap through that today, which is great. And so this is a really nice trade so far. I already bagged 5% on this, and you know, obviously now we're trading higher. And so the next take profit is around this region. I think it's around 28s, maybe 29s. So far so good. There was just a strong divergence on FTT when I checked this, and I couldn't really ignore it last night. So when we look between these two lows here, we've got a really nice hourly divergence. And I really couldn't ignore this setup here. So despite the market kind of being awkward, I couldn't knowingly leave this divergence and not do anything with this. So taking off 30% of the position once we crossed through here, I think mine came off around 26.70, somewhere around here. And so, you know, so far so good on FTT. Really strong couple of hours from this retest, and very different to the way that BTC performed around the low. You know, we know BTC's been chopping around, whereas some of the alts have just been pushing into higher highs, fresh highs, clear space. So we'll be looking and monitoring this as we go on. We've shifted the stop now to get underneath here. So basically we're just, you know, putting the stop in as tight as possible now. We could probably bring this up to 25.66. I may alter that later on. But we had a very good reaction from tapping back down to this level here. So we'll see how things develop. One option that I also have is whether or not I want to try and move the stop up even more aggressively, and maybe have the stop around this 26.30 level here. Because again, realistically, if this is bullish, we shouldn't be expecting this to travel too much below 26.50 from here, I don't think. So that's the FTT position. And a couple of others will go over the portfolio positions. So number one is Alice. Okay, so Alice is now doing exactly what I wanted it to do, and this has been a long time coming, this play. Right, so this arrow here, this line depicting where I want Alice to go, which is getting above this level here at $5, and then consolidating and then hopefully continuing higher. And so far, you know, the seeds have been sown here, and this is so far the biggest spot position that I've taken in that portfolio, because I like what I'm seeing. I like the signs that I'm seeing. Yesterday I chose to add on a 50 RSI retest down here. So the first ad that I did and I posted about was down here. I think it's around the 440s. And just because we had this reset, really nice reset on RSI. We'd had the impulse here, consolidated and sold off, corrected here, then big impulse to get us above this level, which is perfect. So the big impulse above the level also demonstrates to us the significance of this level, which we're really pleased about, because we've always had it marked on here, and we said, well, it is significant because we can see it on the daily. And so far what we're seeing in the reaction is that yes, this is a significant level, because we're using a lot of force to break through this level. Now we're hoping that Alice follows in the path of Axie, right? We're hoping that this is a strong run off the bottom. And we'll keep an eye on where we want the targets to be. You know, certainly the 770 area is going to be an awkward one to try and pass through. And then we've got, you know, resistance at 10, etc., etc. So let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. But right now, really good start to the position on Alice. And again, I probably will look at adding more into Alice. I would really quite like to have a lot of exposure here. I think that this is a very good project that I think will continue to grow in strength. And I think the more that Twitter and just general people start to look at Axie and what's going on with Axie, and start to look at other markets, I think that Alice will be up there in terms of people's thought process. Now the other one is Sand, because I haven't really covered this one too much, but this is another one that I bought into. Now Sand, I'm a big fan of Sand because this is an NFT project that I've bought a lot of land on. So this is a project that I really, really like as a concept. And I'm kind of quite happy to have my money where my mouth is at the moment with Sand. We've got a diagonal here. Okay. We'll see how that reacts. So good reaction so far from Sand. Alright, really good reaction so far. Great move today, 18% up. The awkward thing that we've got with Sand is we've got nothing that's really like a concrete level. We've got something around 37, but we've got another 20% until we get there anyway. But everything else is just so bitty. There's no really strong kind of key horizontal levels because the price action is just so volatile either side. So all I'm doing at the moment for this is kind of holding on to the position. I think, you know, the first position started around the 24 mark. So already in really good profit, like 30% up on this position. But again, wanting to size in. There's a very small percentage, only 4% of the portfolio allocated to sand right now. And again, I would like to size that up when the opportunity comes. Daily RSI in a very good space here on sand. Looks as though we could get continuation here. First time we're above the 50 since May. And the 3-day still underneath. If we get a crossover here, this will be a lot more significant for us. And the weekly as well. So what we're doing at the moment is really being in a position where portfolio wise we're not getting too carried away. So portfolio wise we're not getting carried away in terms of we're seeing green and we're not suddenly, you know, rushing to throw our money into everything left, right and center. But at the same time we're making some sensible, you know, very risk managed situations on, or decisions on, you know, what projects do we want to have exposure to if there's going to be a continued alt rally from this point. If BTC breaks upwards, if ETH breaks upwards, you know, where would we like to have some capital? Again, the DeFi positions got into too early. I made that decision too early. And just trying to manage that now with some of the gaming projects that you guys know that I'm interested in. So that's really what we're trying to do at this point in time. So, enjoy the day. I'm going to do a video now on NFTs, which is why I've got all these tabs open. So I really want to have a good discussion on NFTs. I know there's people in the group that are interested in them, and the thought process and what they are, and what the different styles are, and how you can be a buyer of certain things. So I want to do a video that kind of goes into a little bit of detail on that, just to provide you with an overview of, you know, some of the projects available. So I'm going to dive into that now. Everybody enjoy the rest of the day. Good luck trading if you are trading. Enjoy the green.